So next, this is another picture of stem bark with the leaf. So this is another picture you can observe about the stem bark is having the longitudinal furrows that is exfoliating the stem bark, the outer bark of the stem. You can observe this is the main trunk. So how this is the stem bark, they used to take the stem bark cutting pictures. So this is the useful part of, or the official part of Ashoka, that is the stem bark. But when you take the when you cut the freshly the stem bark, at that time it is having Shweta Varna, that is white in color, but due to oxidation, when it is exposed to the air, it turns to red color, especially the inner part. The inner part is white in color, that is freshly cutted, but when it is exposed to the air, so due to the oxidation, it turns to red color. The red color, the inner side of the greenish, the outer, the stem bark, outer stem bark is somewhat, it is greenish in color. You can say greenish brown also. So this is inner side. So you can observe the thickness also, the thickness of the stem bark. It is somewhat channeled or it is somewhat curved. It is not in the form of like flat, as like in case of Arjuna. So Arjuna is most of the times we used to observe that is the stem bark will be flat, but it is somewhat, it is curved or channeled. Whereas the Arjuna stem bark is externally smooth, but here it is somewhat rough. And thickness will be, it is somewhat, it looks like more thicker and fibrous also. You can observe in this picture clearly, you can observe the fibrous. So you see the habit, okay? Please note down. It is a medium-sized tree. So Ashoka plant, it is a medium-sized tree which grows about 20 to 30 feet height. It is a medium-sized tree which grows about 20 to 30 feet height, and the branches are glabrous. I have mentioned that even the leaves, not only the leaves, even the whole branches are glabrous. Not the whole plant, but only the branches. The branches and leaves are glabrous. Okay. Type of leaf, that is unipinnate compound leaf. Okay. So unipinnate compound leaves. Arrangement of leaf is alternate, not the leaflet. Okay. Arrangement of leaf is alternate, and arrangement of leaflet is opposite. Arrangement of leaflet is opposite, and size of the leaf is approximately 15 to 30 centimeter in length. The whole leaf is, which measures about 15 to 30 centimeter in length. Even some natural places, even it is not, even it is more than 30 centimeter. More than 30 centimeter will be present, the length. Number of pair of leaflets is 4 to 6 pair. 4 to 6 pair. You have seen in the picture. In one picture it is 4 pairs, in another picture it is 5 pairs. So it may be approximately 4 to 6 pair of leaflets will be present. Shape of the leaflet is oblong lanceolate. Okay, already have mentioned, because of the presence of the margins are parallel. Okay, oblong lanceolate, and apex is acute. Apex is acute. Even actually they have mentioned as obtuse, but we are not seeing that character in the leaves. What I have shown in the picture, that is exactly acute shape of the apex will be present. And the size of the leaflets, there I have mentioned the size of the whole leaf, but here I am going to mention about the size of the leaflets. It is approximately 10 to 20 centimeter in length, the size of the leaflets, and width is 3 to 5 centimeter. Width is 3 to 5 centimeter. and the petiolule, not the petiole, the petiolule is 4 to 6 millimeter, 4 to 6 millimeter in length. Okay, next, so you can observe in this picture about the inflorescence. So this is the flower bud. Here the some flowers are, they have already it is opened, but most of the flowers are, they are in flower buds. So here this is botanically we used to say corymbos. Corymbos means it is a type of raceme inflorescence. Corymbos is a type of raceme inflorescence. So in raceme inflorescence, over the main peduncle, the flowers are arranged in apopetal section. Means older flowers at the base, younger flowers towards the apex. Okay. So what happened in case of this corymbos? The older flowers actually in cluster form they used to develop. The older flowers, if you consider, there are a group of the leaves are there. So here the outer, the flowers. So here this, in this flower you can observe the outer, the flowers are having longer pedicel. The stalk of the flower, it will be longer compared to its inner side. So ultimately it looks like somewhat umbel or umbrella shaped. The corymbos inflorescence means the outer, the flowers, the outermost flowers are having longer pedicel compared to the inner pedicel, inner flowers. So like that they used to develop. That is called as corymbos inflorescence. It is a type of raceme inflorescence. So this is the inflorescence of Ashoka. So this is one flower you can observe with this is the main staminal part, androecium part. So these are longer than the corolla. So here corolla is tube-like structure, and so these are the petals. So 4 to 5 petals are present with a long the androecium parts. Okay. So this is the cluster, Guchya Pushpa. The flowers are clustered, Guchya Pushpa. So in this picture also you can observe about the inflorescence. So here the flower buds are there with the tender leaves are there. You can observe about the inflorescence. The different pictures of the inflorescence. So here, so some flowers are somewhat yellowish in color and some flowers are arranged. When it is young, that time it is yellowish. Young flowers are young, it is yellowish, and when it is developed, then turns to orange color. So these are the fruits of Ashoka, what you are observing in this picture. So this is the unripened fruit of Ashoka. I will show another picture. So this is the ripened fruit of Ashoka. Here, this is the dehiscent in nature. They used to open itself. So these are called the seeds. So here the official part of Ashoka is mainly we are using stem bark. Along with the stem bark, we are using the flowers and the seeds. Seeds are also official part. Okay. So inflorescence is an axillary corymbos inflorescence. Inflorescence is axillary corymbos. From the axilla, the inflorescence they used to develop. Okay. So that's why they say axillary corymbos inflorescence. Flowers are numerous. That's called Guchya Pushpa. Numerous in dense yellow when tender. That is when immature. At that time, it is the flowers are tender in nature and becomes red or orange color when it is developed. Okay. And Gandha Pushpa. So because of its aromatic nature, they used to say fragrant. The flowers are fragrant. Gandha Pushpa. And about the fruit, as the characteristic feature of Fabaceae family, as it is belongs to the family of Caesalpinaceae family. There is subfamily Caesalpinaceae. There is Puthicaranjacula. So the characteristic feature of the fruit is pod. Okay. Next, the shape of the fruit is oblong. That you can observe in the picture. So this is oblong. It is not clear actually in this picture. The margins of the lamina is parallel. Margins of the fruit is parallel. So based on that, they used to say as oblong. and size of the fruit is approximately 10 to 25 centimeter. Usually the fruits will be longer, but in case of Pterocarpus santalinus, where bija pradhana, the whole fruit will be predominantly with seed. There it is somewhat round in rakta chandana, but almost all the Fabaceae members are having the fruit length will be longer fruits. Okay, next we'll move to the stem bark. So stem bark already have explained, smooth, and in some conditions it may be because of the presence of the longitudinal furrows, it must sometimes rough also, and internally it is white when you cut freshly. So due to the oxidation, when it is exposed to the air, it turns to red color. Okay, and externally it is somewhat greenish brown in color. Externally greenish brown, internally when it is fresh, that time it is white in color. But after exposing to the air, due to the oxidation, it turns to red in color. Okay, so externally grayish or somewhat green also color, rough to touch, and is white when it is fresh. Okay, and turns to red color. Approximately the size thickness is around about 5 to 12 millimeter in thickness. Utpatti sthana, as in the introduction itself I have mentioned that it is a native of Asia and South America, and even in India also, where abundantly this plant is in those days it is available. But because of the utility, as I have mentioned already, in the NMPB, National Medicinal Plant Board, and FRLHT, that is which is the FRLHT which is present in Bangalore. So these two boards, they have given about the data, the requirement of stem bark of Ashoka in 1999 and 2000, it is about 100 metric ton, but it was increased 500 ton in 2006 and 2007. In 2011, 2012, it is increased up to 1200 metric ton. So because of this, the increased the demand of the society, so nowadays it is one of the endangered species, or it is considered under as a red listed plant. Okay, so it is found in wild at low elevations on the Himalaya or in the rainy forest where the rainfall will be more. So in those areas it is abundantly grown. Okay, so next we'll move to the chemical composition or the phytoconstituents, the main active principle which is present in the stem bark of Ashoka and which is specifically indicated in case of gynecological disorder, that is because of the presence of hematoxylin. So hematoxylin is the main active principle which is responsible for to stop the, that is atyarthava, or for raktastambhaka, the actions, as in case of rakta pradhara, that is menorrhagia, metrorrhagia, and leukorrhea. So in all these conditions we are using this Ashoka. So because the presence of the hematoxylin, the main active principle in the stem bark of Ashoka is hematoxylin. Along with that, it is the presence is tannin. So tannin, usually when the drugs are having kashaya rasa, definitely it contains the tannin. So around about 6% of tannin will be present. So apart from tannin, it contains catechol, epicatechin. So catechol and epicatechin, these are the main active principle we used to found in Acacia catechu, that is Kadira. So along with that, so ketosterol, saponins, beta-acetosterol. So here you have to remember hematoxylin, mainly hematoxylin, tannin, and catechin, epicatechin. So these four important active principles you have to remember. So this is another slide which denotes about the chemical composition. There is condensed tannin. They used to say condensed tannin around about 6%, hematoxylin, ketosterol. So the steroidal, the herbal steroids, ketosterol, saponins, calcium, iron compounds. So because of this calcium, iron, so as because of this, they use the Ashoka plants or the Ashoka, the preparations they used to give the immunity and stamina, which give the sthirata to the women's. That's why they used to call it as friendly women drug, women friendly drug. So Rasapanchaka, this is one of the Samana Pratyarabdha Dravya. So even Acharya Charaka mentioned it under Kashaya Skanda. So okay, so Kashaya Tikta Rasa, Lagu Ruksha Guna, Shita Virya Katu Vipaka. So this is Samana Pratyarabdha. As the Rasa is having Kashaya Tikta, so definitely the predominant Mahabhuta in Kashaya Rasa is Y and Prithvi, that is Vayu or Kashayaha, Vayu and Prithvi Mahabhuta. So because of the Vayu Guna, it is having Lagu and Ruksha Guna. Because of the predominance of the Vayu Mahabhuta, the Gunas are Lagu and Ruksha. So as Kashaya Satmaka Dravyas are undergoing Katuvipaka, and definitely Vayu Mahabhuta predominancy, that is Shita Guna will be there. So that is Shita Virya, and it does Kapha Pitta Shamaka Karma. Because of this Shita Virya, so it does Stambhana Karma. So some of the health benefits of the Ashoka tree. So mainly you can observe, so because of it prevents the internal bleeding. So Ashoka plant, Ashoka stem bark, it prevents the internal bleeding. And apart from, it is especially the seeds are that removes the kidney stones. So that's why we are using in case of Ashmari. So even Acharya Shushruta has mentioned the utility of Ashoka Bija in case of the Ashmari conditions. Even the modern peoples also, they are using that the seeds of Ashoka, which removes the kidney stones. That's why we're using in case of stones, Ashmari. Okay, so along with that, which helps in improve the intellectuality and helps in to treat the acne as a Varnya, we're using. So Bhava Prakasha, there is Nigantaka, Bhava Mishra has mentioned the utility of Ashoka as a which improves the skin complexions. Okay, so improves the skin complexion, helps to treat the gynecological problem, mainly gynecological problems, and deals with some of the stomach swelling and inflammations. Okay, so these are some of the benefits of Ashoka plant. So according to Ayurveda, mainly first the important karma you have to mention if they ask karma and rogagnata, and even the Amaika Prayoga if they ask in the examinations, the first choice should be Arthava Sangrahaniya. First you have to concentrate on gynecological disorders. This is the drug of choice. Okay, so Arthava Sangrahaniya karma, because it is having Kashaya Rasa, so Kashaya Rasa does Stambhana karma. So that's why Arthava Sangrahaniya karma. So that's why it is indicated in case of Arthavagata, Arthava Janya Vikaras. It may be like Shveta Pradara, Rakta Pradara, any the gynecological disorders. So the second the karma is Rakta Stambhana karma. So you can mention in case of Rakta Pradara conditions once again, as it is having a Stambhana karma. So in case of like it may be Atisara conditions or Pravahika conditions, or sometimes even the bleeding conditions. So that's why sometimes in Kashaya Tikta Rasa, so definitely Vayu Mahabhuta is there. So that's why which does Daha Prashamana, that burning sensation is going to be reduced. So indicating case of Trishna and Daha, and it is Garbhashaya Hita. Ashoka, especially the stem bark, is Garbhashayagata Hita. So in case of any Garbhashayagata Shaitilyata, Shitilata, as Kashayatmaka Dravyas, which gives strength to the uterine muscles. So that's why they used to say as uterine tonic, or like a cardiotonic. In the same way, this is uterine tonic. Even Ashoka, they are also indicating case of Rudrogas, because which gives the strength to the cardiac muscles. Usually Kashaya Satmaka Dravyas, it is contraindicated in case of the Rudroga, but in the form of Kshirapaka Kalpana, you can administer because of Stambhana property, because of Kashaya Rasa, which gives strength to the cardiac muscles or even the uterine muscles. Next, in case of Amayika Prayoga, therapeutic uses, that is in case of mainly Rakta Pradara. First, you have to mention about the gynecological disorders. Okay, so in case of Rakta Pradara, Ashoka Twakwata is given along with that is Srutam Dugdev. You can do the Himakalpana with the help of by using the Ashoka Twak. You can take the Churna, you can prepare the Kwata with Srutam Dugdev. That is cold milk you can use. So this is mentioned by for the first time. Vrunda Madhava it is mentioned. So you will not get in Charaka Samhita, Shushruta Samhita, Kashyapa Samhita, or even Vagbhata. So nowhere the classical text mentioned the utility of Ashoka in case of the gynecological disorders. So it is Vrunda Madhava for the first time he mentioned the utility of Ashoka in case of the gynecological disorders. So this is one of the neat examination question. Next, the official part, the useful part of Ashoka is Kandatwak. Mainly we are using Kandatwak, that is specifically in case of the gynecological disorders. So seeds in case of that is for urinary tract diseases, especially in case of Ashmari and Mutra Putra conditions, we are using the Bija. And flowers, the flowers are we are using in case of the bleeding disorders, specifically in case of the Nasagata Raktasrava, in such type of conditions, we are using the flowers of Dadima, flowers of Ashoka. So different the flowers we are using for Nashya Karma in case of bleeding disorders, and those the churna, that is Kandatvak churna 1 to 3 gram, even Pushpa churna 1 to 3 gram. The Kvata will be 50 to 100 ml. In a divided dose you can administer, and Kshira Pakakalpanas around about 15 to 30 ml you can use twice or thrice in a day. And the Vishishta Yoga is Ashokarishta, Ashoka Gruta, Ashoka Kshira Paka, Madhukadya Valeha, Mahamarichadya Taila. So these are the some of the important Vishishta Yoga. So these are the some of the preparations of the preparations which are prepared by, as one of the ingredient is Ashoka. This is nowadays what we are getting in the market, Ashoka powder, all those things. Okay. So thank you. We'll see in the next class.